Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I have a huge fragrance haul to share with you guys. I think it's safe to say that perfume hauls are you guys' favorite videos for me because I constantly get asked to do these. Obviously, people want to see what's new out there and just new reviews and everything. And don't get me wrong, I love me a good perfume haul and I love buying perfumes, but obviously it can get pricey, so it takes me a little bit to kind of gather up a good amount of perfumes. But let me just say I have been shopping and you're definitely going to be seeing more perfume hauls in the future from me. Today I have a pretty big perfume haul that consists of affordable perfumes, more high-end perfumes, some niche perfumes. I also have some really good lotions. I don't just mean like basic boring lotions. I mean like super fragrant lotions that honestly are stronger and more powerful than even perfumes. I did buy all of these perfumes with my own money. So no, none of these perfume brands that I'm gonna show sponsored this video, but this video is sponsored by none other than Scentbird. So before I show you guys all these amazing perfumes, let me tell you a little bit about Scentbird, and I'm gonna actually give you guys a little update. Huge thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring this portion of the video. If you're new to my channel and you have no idea what Scentbird is a monthly subscription service where every single month you get a sample of your choice for just $17. They have over 600, probably even more than over 600 perfumes on their website. They have every single fragrance that you can think of, and they do also have colognes as well, so they literally have it all. And these samples can range from like high-end designers to actual niche fragrances that are in the 300-400s. These perfume samples are specially designed so that they will last you an entire month before you get your next shipment in. And as far as size reference, here is the sample that you get from Scentbird, and here is a typical perfume sample. So as you can see, there's a pretty big size difference, and it's nice because you obviously had a full month to test out the fragrance, so you know for sure whether you really like it or not if you're wanting to buy the actual full size. And then on the other side of that, if you end up not liking the fragrance, there isn't a ton of guilt associated with that because you only spent $17 rather than like hundreds. So this is what your package will look like. Comes with a little drawstring bag, and then this is what the component looks like. It's perfect for traveling because you have the option to lock it so it's not going to spray all over your bags. And then you can unlock it and it sprays just like that. This does open up, and here is your fragrance. And you also get a little card that tells you the name, the notes, and everything you need to know about the perfume that you got. So that is the gist of Scentbird, and they did kindly give me a code, so if you guys are interested in signing up for Scentbird, you can get your first month for 55% off if you use my code Ksenia too. That means that your first purchase from Scentbird will be only like literally $8. Now let me give you guys a little update on my last month's fragrances that I got. So first off is Perfumes de Marly Delina La Rosée. This is a flanker to the original Delina, which I do have in my collection. And Delina, for me, I love it, but I love it when I'm in the mood to wear it because it is a very strong scent. It gives a lot, so it's not like my daily perfume, but the La Rosée version of Delina is the more wearable version. So if you're somebody that has smelled Delina before and you're like, it's too much, try out La Rosée. This smells super good. It has a faint rosy smell. It's not as strong and potent as it is in the other one, and it just feels more elegant, more smooth, and more delicate. I use it whenever I feel like I just want to smell super feminine and pretty, but light and not too much like the original. I'm definitely saving the best for last. So next up, I have Confessions of a Rebel. Oh yes, I have also been absolutely loving this perfume. It has this fluffy marshmallowy sweetness to it. It's a little bit woody, it's a little bit citrusy, it also has a berry vibe, but there's just this, I don't know, this fluffiness, this sweetness in it that reminds me of marshmallows. Meaning this isn't gonna just be like your airy, boring, fresh floral scent. There is a level of freshness to this, but there's also some depth and sweetness at its base, which I love. And then my favorite perfume that I received, and I told you in my last video where I talked about this, that I will for sure be getting the full size of this, and I still stand by that. I am almost halfway done with this, and I'm savoring every single moment with this fragrance because this has surpassed any expectations. Like, this is so good. This is the fragrance of hot girl summer. This is by Sisley, and it's called Le Rêve d'Elia. I will put it on the screen for you guys. I can't get over it. Every single person that I've made smell this has given me so many compliments, and every time I smell it, I get giddy because it reminds me of Greece. I said this in my last video, but I stand by it. It gives me all the nostalgia. It has this beautiful citrusy European summer kind of vibe. It's so crisp. There's woodiness to it. It is absolutely stunning. So yes, as soon as I am done with this little sample, you better believe you're going to be seeing the full-size bottle of this on my channel. If you guys know about this and you know where I can buy it, leave that in the comments. So that is it for my little update on my Scentbird fragrances. Before we get into this video, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. So I'm super excited to show you perfume number 1. This is La Vie Belle Soleil Crystal. I know, it's kind of crazy for me to be holding up a La Vie Belle flanker because of how many times I've said I don't like La Vie Belle, and I still stand by that. And that's nothing to do with the fact that it smells bad to me, but I just feel like it smells so generic, and every single time I went to the store to spray the tester on me, I kind of just get sick of the smell. Like, it almost kind of tends to give me a headache after a while. I just don't particularly love La Vie Belle. I never have. If you love it, then you love it. Like, my opinion shouldn't affect that, obviously. But I recently smelled this, and this is so good. The packaging looks exactly the same, I'm pretty sure, but it has this iridescence to it. So this is kind of like the summer flanker to La Vie Belle. In my opinion, I don't think that this smells like La Vie Belle, because if it did, I probably wouldn't like it. I feel like maybe it has a tiny bit of La Vie Belle in here, like that sweetness, but other than that, it's entirely different. Let me just say, first and foremost, this fragrance lasts. You do not have to worry about lasting power with this, because this lasts an entire day, probably even more than that, on your skin super well, and then especially on clothes. It has amazing projection, really good sillage. It definitely is a powerhouse, and I just love this coconut sweet vanilla vibe that it has. It's so good. And when I did my recent declutter, where I decluttered Paco Rabanne's Olympia, I said in that video, if you watched it, that I found a fragrance that is better than Olympia, that kind of reminds me of Olympia, and it's this. That salty, sweet, beachy scent that Olympia had, that's what this gives me also, but I feel like this is creamier and it has a lot more like vanilla sweetness to it, so I just much prefer this. So that's why I got rid of Olympia, because I had discovered this, and as you know, now I'm not really into having duplicates in my collection. This is literally the fragrance of summer. Like, this smells so summery, so beachy. It just smells like vacation, but also super sexy. This has top notes of mandarin orange, pink pepper, and bergamot, middle notes of ylang ylang, iris, orange blossom, and jasmine, and base notes of coconut, vanilla, and patchouli. I feel like the base notes in this are the notes that I can smell in this more than anything else. I can kind of pick up on that orange blossom and a little bit of the jasmine, but the base notes like the coconut and vanilla is like mostly what I smell. Now, it does have patchouli, but it's very faint and kind of in the background. Like, I almost don't even pick it out that much in here, but I'm guessing that's why this fragrance lasts like a week and a half. So if you love fragrances like Olympia by Paco Rabanne, if you love fragrances like Alien Goddess, or even maybe a little bit of Beach Walk, think of all of those fragrances kind of coming together and having a baby. It would be this, but I almost feel like this is sweeter than all of those fragrances. On the skin, this fragrance is just so yummy, and I don't want to say gourmand, but it almost sort of leans that way because of how sweet it is. But because of those beachy notes, it's also not too much for the summertime. And I will be doing my summer perfume recommendations video, because I know I haven't done that yet, and I do it every year. So definitely keep a lookout for that, but you better believe that will be featured in that, because how can it not? The next scent is a total classic, but I had to get this back in my collection. I believe they had some sort of sale the day that I bought this, and I was in Victoria's Secret anyway that day because I bought a really pretty robe. I'm pretty sure I have a body mist of this, but I was like, I need the perfume of this, because this is one of my all-time favorite scents. It has been since day one. Before I even had a huge perfume collection, this was like my favorite perfume of all time, and I still stand by that. Like, this is like me in a perfume. It's almost like my signature scent. I feel like when I first got into perfumes, this and Ari and Viva La Juicy. Those are like my signature scents, and I feel like most people's signature scents. So clearly I didn't have the most unique taste. But honestly, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And these smell amazing, so I don't care if they're seen as being basic or whatever. It smells amazing, and I could smell this all day and be in love. So this is Victoria's Secret Tease. I probably got this for like $30, I want to say. Even though I have so many perfumes now and I have niche fragrances and super high-end perfumes, I still go back to this. I still wear this all the time, and I freaking love it. This is pretty similar to Viva La Juicy, but dare I say, I kind of like Tease more than Viva La Juicy. This is so sexy, like a feminine, girly, sexy scent that will get you. It is literally the biggest compliment getter ever. Probably because it's a big crowd pleaser. There's nothing in here that's unlikable. There's nothing sharp, nothing that stands out. It's just a really pretty, sweet, feminine scent. Obviously, I love so many of my perfumes, but this still takes a special place in probably like my top 10 perfumes. This has top notes of pear, lychee, red apple, mandarin orange, middle notes of gardenia, freesia, magnolia, jasmine, and sweet pea, and base notes of black vanilla, husk, benzoin, chocolate, sandalwood, musk, and amber. So it has a lot of notes. It has a good amount of florals in there. And yes, it's kind of floral. I feel like the jasmine in here I can definitely smell, which I love. You guys probably know what this smells like because it has been around for years. And if you've ever smelled Viva La Juicy, this smells very similar to that. But honestly, like, there's something in it I kind of like more. Then I got Gucci Guilty. This is the eau de parfum. Now, I mentioned this also in my declutter video. I was gonna say I think it was the same declutter video as my Olympia declutter, but no, I think it was the declutter before that. And I mentioned in that video that I got rid of Gucci Guilty. Now, that fragrance is already sold, so somebody already is loving and using that fragrance, which I'm very glad about because I didn't want to keep both. Obviously, they're the same exact scent, but I did notice that this one actually has different notes, or not really different, but they've taken some notes out. So I think they've reformulated the new version because the old one I had was in the old packaging, which I honestly kind of preferred to this. But when I smelled this, I fell in love with it, and this was actually gifted to me. This is so good. Like, Gucci Guilty. It's a provocative, glamorous, sexy scent. And I know this perfume is kind of like infamously known for smelling like baby powder. And I'll tell you this right now. Yes, there's a hint of baby powder, which normally would turn me off so much because I'm not into powdery scents, especially baby powder scents. But there's something about this that is so alluring, so intoxicating. It has a little bit of that powderiness, but there's just so much more to it. And I absolutely love, like, every time I smell it, I'm like, wow. This is like so sexy, so glamorous. It's like a red lip kind of perfume. So I'm actually gonna put up on the screen the notes of these. So on this side, I'll have the notes of the brand new Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum. And then over here, I'll put up the notes of Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum, the older version. So it turns out they are reformulated because in this new version, they've taken out the black currant and the peach. And they've also taken out the vanilla that's in the base, which is kind of strange because to me this smells exactly the same as the old one because obviously I had them both at a point so I could compare. So it's not like I get that big of a difference between these two. I feel like the scents are like, I don't know, 99% the same. And although they took out the vanilla, I still think this is just as sweet as the one I had. And they took out the black currant, they took out the peach, but I don't know. I just don't really find that big of a difference. Like, even though the notes are now different, I just don't get that much difference between these two, which is a good thing because although it's like reformulated, at least the scent has still remained the same. And I love it. It lasts a good amount of time and it's just super, super sexy. I have smelled some of the flankers in the Gucci Guilty line. I think there's a purple one that I smelled the other day and I really, really liked it. So maybe I will try out some of the flankers, but this whole Gucci Guilty line is just so sexy to me. Perfect date night, going out type of stuff. Next up, I actually have a Zara perfume. So I thought I had made a video on this because I've actually had this for a while, but I guess I haven't actually made like an actual proper haul because I have this little section in my room where I keep my perfumes that I need to make hauls on, and this was in there, and I'm like, I've never talked about this. Like, I'm pretty sure I've talked about it, but just not in a haul. This is Rose Gourmand by Zara, and this I actually didn't get at Zara because when I went specifically looking for this, it was sold out everywhere. Because this is actually a dupe for a Mancera scent. It's a dupe for Roses Vanille by Mancera, which a lot of people really love, and this whole line of Zara has a lot of really amazing dupes to high-end fragrances that they actually do such a good job on. And these perfumes are like $29, which is super affordable, especially compared to the niche fragrances. Like, I'm pretty sure they have a Baccarat Rouge one, I'm pretty sure they have like a YSL Libre one, and a bunch of other ones. I don't really know much more about them. This is the only one from this line that I have. This one is called Rose Gourmand, and it smells literally identical to Roses Vanille, because I have smelled Roses Vanille. I was at like a huge perfume shop in Miami once, and I smelled that perfume and I was like, whoa, this smells really good. But I didn't really want to pay all that money on it because it's not like I was that in love with it to like just drop all that money. So I was like, you know what, I've actually heard of a dupe to this, which was this. So I started looking into it, and I couldn't find it in any Zara store. At the time, it was also out of stock on the website. I did just check, and it is in stock right now, so I'll have that linked for you guys if you're interested in this. It smells so high-end. Even if we're not comparing this to Roses Vanille, even on its own, this smells so good, and it's so strong. It's super long lasting. It fills up a room. Definitely like one little spray of this and the whole world will know you sprayed this. So you definitely only need a couple sprays, but this is a huge compliment getter. And I normally am not that into rose scents, and this obviously has a huge prominent rose scent to it, but I think the fact that it has that vanilla equally in there, something so sexy, captivating, and just feminine about this scent. The notes in here are actually pretty simple. So you only get rose in the top, amber in the middle, and vanilla in the base. So exactly what it's called, Roses Gourmand. To me, this honestly smells like candied roses. It makes me feel so bougie and high-end every time I spray it on. This next scent is the last perfume that I have, and then after this I have a body spray and two very fragrant lotions that I think you guys are gonna really like. So I recently went to the Aventura Mall in Miami, and I love that mall, by the way. It has like everything that you could possibly think of. I picked up a Labo scent at the Nordstrom that is in that Aventura Mall, and I love the packaging of these Labo scents, but this scent in particular had been on my radar, on my wish list for so long, so I finally bought it. And let me just say, this has quickly turned into like a signature scent for me. This and another scent that I've been mixing, which you guys already know about this because I've already done a layering video including this scent. But if you watched my layering combos video, you know that this and Baccarat Rouge have been my recent most like literal signature scent. It's all I've been wearing. I wear it almost like on a daily basis, which is kind of bad because I've been wearing this so much that I've been kind of like neglecting all my other perfumes. But it's like all I want to wear, and not even just with Baccarat Rouge. This scent just mixes with everything. This is another 13. Out of all the Labo scents, this was my favorite. The salesperson there was kind enough to give me a ton of samples of a ton of other Labo scents. So let me know if you guys want a like reviewing Labo perfumes kind of video, because I have a ton of samples to go through that I can like smell individually and kind of rate them. But another 13 is just so amazing, and it's so cute because when you go there they actually customize the label for you. So my perfume actually says my name and a little heart. It says the date that I bought it on and where I bought it. I honestly don't know how to say here and describe the scent because it's kind of quite literally indescribable. This is that type of scent that kind of just mixes with your natural chemistry, and it'll end up smelling different on everybody, and that's because it has ambroxan in it, which is what that note does. It just smells different on each person that wears it, and this is a unisex fragrance. Now when I smell this, I think the first thing, like the first fragrance that comes to mind is Not a Perfume by Juliette Has a Gun, which I did used to own a while back. I made a whole video on the whole Juliette Has a Gun perfume line, but I ended up decluttering that scent because I felt like every time I would wear it, it would turn really smoky on my skin, and I wasn't really a fan of that. This is almost like a very similar scent to that, but I feel like this does so much better on my skin, and it gives me absolutely zero smokiness. It's not the strongest scent when you smell it, but everyone can smell it, if that makes sense. After a while, you might kind of go almost nose blind to the scent, but it honestly has almost the same power as Baccarat Rouge has. This is, to this day, probably my most complimented scent ever. I explained in that video where I wore this and Baccarat Rouge, and I got a comment when I was getting my wax. Like, I was literally getting a Brazilian wax, and when I got up, she's like, by the way, you smell amazing. And she was going on about how it smelled very like signature worthy, and I'm like, yeah, it totally does. And that was only like the first or second time that I had ever worn this, so I was still kind of like experimenting with layering combos and everything. On that day, I also got so many more compliments on that combo. That just solidified how good this scent is. But I get compliments with this even when I wear it alone. Like, I don't have to necessarily layer this. Really woody. It has that Roxanne like molecular vibe to it. Really, really strange, but honestly such a good perfume. It's super crisp. It's very clean. It's not boring, and I absolutely love how it smells on my skin. It might be different on yours, so definitely check it out, but this is so good. And honestly, most people, when I was doing my research and I was reading reviews on this, a lot of people said that this was like a huge compliment getter, and that is for me too. Like, I have hundreds of perfumes, and this seems to be one of my most complimented. Next up, I picked up a body spray. I would do like a body spray haul, but I don't have enough. I haven't really been buying body sprays like that, so I'm just gonna include this in this video because, to be honest, this body spray kind of gives me perfume vibes, and these body sprays from Victoria's Secret rather than these body sprays are different because these are like body sprays, and these are considered like their perfumey body sprays, so they have like the matching perfumes and the whole set you could buy of this. So I picked up Heavenly. This is an OG. Just like Tease, Heavenly has also been around for a long time, and this set is specifically super nostalgic for me because my mom wore this for so many years. Like, this was my mom's like signature scent. I'm pretty sure I bought this for her like a Mother's Day, like a long time ago, and she loved it. She still uses this scent to this day, and every time I go to my parents' house, I always go in her bathroom and I spray it, and I'm like, this smells really good. So when I was at Victoria's Secret, I was like, you know what, let me pick up a little body spray of this because it's a really nice scent, and it's not like I'm gonna use this every single day to where I want to get the perfume and the full set, but I was like, I want to keep this around in my collection because I actually do agree with the name of it. It is a very heavenly, clean, kind of innocent smell, but it has a touch of sexiness into it as well. This has notes of musk, sandalwood, white flowers, bourbon vanilla, peony, freesia, and lotus. I don't really know how to describe Heavenly, to be honest. I don't have any perfume like it in my collection. It's kind of like fresh and crisp with some sweetness to it, and it kind of almost gives me a slight cologne vibe, but like in the best way possible. I don't want that to come across as like a bad thing because I know a lot of people don't love like masculine leaning perfumes, and like, to me, this is super feminine, but it just has a little touch, and I think that is what gives this that sexiness that it has. To me, this gives very much like wedding vibes. Like, if you're getting married, Heavenly is a perfect scent. Alright, now this is probably, I mean, obviously I'm really excited about the perfumes, but this is probably one of the most exciting things that I have in this entire haul because me and this product go way back. Like, the nostalgia that this product gives me is unlike anything that I've ever bought. So I bought the Angel by Mugler perfuming body cream. So the reason why this is so nostalgic for me is because I am from Albania, as I've mentioned in many videos, but I spent a lot of my summers and just a lot of my childhood in Greece because I had my aunt there. My parents also lived in Greece for a long period of time, so that was like our second home. So I would say like half of my childhood was spent in Greece and half of it like in Albania. I just consider Greece just as much as my home as I do Albania. And this is a product that my cousins and my aunt in Greece used to use all the time, and not even just them, but every time we would go out with them, like I would go out with my cousins to go shopping and stuff in the malls in Greece, I would smell this scent everywhere. Like, that's why I love the smell of Angel to this day, and I know how hit or miss Angel is, and I know that a lot of people don't love it because it's just too much and all of that, but to me Angel is so nostalgic that I can never see myself not liking it. And this, first of all, let's just take in how beautiful this body cream is. Like, The packaging alone of this body cream is 10 out of 10. My cousins used to always have this sitting on like their vanity and I used to always use it. You open it like this and here is the body cream. It smells just as good as I remember. It's an Angel body cream, so it smells a lot like Angel, but I honestly love the body cream way more than I love the perfume. I obviously don't own the perfume, but this is like, I don't know, it's just so good. It's that typical Thierry Mugler DNA, that uniqueness, and Angel has a lot of sweet notes in it. It's a gourmand, but in a very Mugler type of way. Gourmand, like a really unique gourmand, a smell you've never smelled before, and I know it's very polarizing, but this has like a million notes in it, so I'm just gonna put all the notes on the screen for you guys because it's gonna take me like an hour just to read off the notes of this, but so good. I wore this and let me tell you, this body cream, just like the perfume, lasts forever. Obviously I put the body cream on my skin, but then obviously my clothes kind of get the smell of it also, and I could still smell this on my clothes when I did laundry like 3 days after I had worn them, and I didn't even put perfume on them. Like, it was literally just this body cream. Like, my clothes were just absorbing the smell of this. This is insane. The power of Angel is just crazy. I get compliments on this everywhere I go. I use it as a base. Now, obviously, it's a pretty strong base, unlike a lot of like lotions that you would typically use as a base. Like, you would probably use like a lighter lotion and then go in with your perfumes. With this, it's pretty tricky to layer this scent because it's so powerful on its own. So you don't want to put another really powerful scent on top of it because then it's just going to be a mess. So you have to do this in a right way where you don't make it too overpowering, because it very much easily can get to that point because of how strong this is. I mean, I love wearing it on its own, but sometimes I do love to layer with it as well. But this is amazing. I actually got it on Amazon, so I will link the link that I used when I bought this. So good. So freaking good. That is honestly the most exciting part of this video, but I have one more product to end off this video with, and it is this Bare lotion. And I actually bought this in lotion form. I don't really buy lotions anymore, like from Victoria's Secret or Bath & Body Works, which is kind of strange for me to be holding up a lotion from Victoria's Secret. But this scent, like, for whatever reason, I kind of like the lotion more than I liked the perfume, and I love using this as a base for some reason. I don't know why. Like, this is one of those scents that kind of adapts to your natural skin chemistry, so that's why I kind of wanted it as a lotion, because I felt like this would be a great layering product. It's like a very woody scent. It has sweetness to it, and honestly, I literally don't know how to explain it. It has Australian sandalwood, violet, and mandarin orange. So it has a pretty simple composition, but I don't know, it just smells super high end to me and really, really good. It's not a super strong scent, but it's also not the lightest scent in the world. But because it is such a simple composition and it smells so good even on its own, it's a great layering product because it matches up with a lot of different scents, which is why I wanted it as a lotion, because I thought it would be a nice base. So that is it for this huge haul. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you like these fragrances. Let me know if you have any of these in your collections and what are your opinions on them. Let me know of any perfumes that you have bought and that I need to check out, because I'm always adding perfumes to my wish list. Thank you again to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. And again, don't forget to use my code Xenia2 for 55% off of your first month. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!